Well, last year Max suffered an injury playing baseball, and he went to the emergency room and got a couple stitches above his eye. Was referred to an ophthalmologist to take a look at his eye and make sure everything was fine. Never mentioned anything of concussion. Max, they gave him some steroids for his eye and they cleared him, and he went back to playing baseball the next week. We thought everything was fine. It wasn't until a couple months later that Max started to develop some symptoms, sensitivity to light, headaches, complaining of headaches, stomach aches, just some irritability, and it wasn't normal. And it was a change in Max that we were starting to get concerned about. And it wasn't until we started doing some research and asking questions to friends of ours that were in the medical field, and they suggested that Max could be suffering from post-concussion syndrome. We saw a neurologist, and she dismissed it altogether and said, "Oh, it's not concussion, post-concussion syndrome." And we pressed a little bit further, and that's when we found Dr. Bagnell, and he came highly recommended through a couple of our friends in the medical profession, in the medical field, and that's where we found your group and Dr. Bagnell, and we couldn't be happier. We've been blessed and lucky to have found you guys.
Well, at school, I missed a couple of days because I wasn't feeling right. Then I got transferred classes, and I felt better, and I just made it on. But then it started to get a little worse, and then I started to go to the doctor, and they weren't really helping me. But then until we found Dr. Bagnell, he's helped me a lot.
I come from a medical background, that I did my research and I believed in the process. I was very anxious, was nervous, because Max was not himself, and we wanted our son back. And but we were excited about the opportunity because there was a big unknown as well. We didn't know how long this process would take. We were really proud of Max because for sticking through it here, but also when he got home, he did his homework, because Dr. Bagnell gave him homework to do. He did his EQs, and he didn't resist, so he kept on doing that. Initially when we got home, I think he was sleeping a little better. He was not as anxious, but we did start seeing a change initially. Less anxiousness, less stomach aches. I think that we were really excited to come back because we know how much improvement Max had, and I think we were going to get some reassurance that everything things have gotten better, and that Max will get that reassurance too, that his feeling better is actually him getting better. When we were making the decision of whether or not to come here, our question was, well, this is our child. What do you have to lose? You would do anything for your child. Took that leap of faith that whatever you can do for your child that help him get better, you do it.
So when you came into us, right, you were playing baseball and you had that injury, right? But you weren't feeling so good. So what were the things that we looked at to check how well you were doing, right? What things did we look at? We looked at
my eye tracking.
Eye tracking.
Balance.
Balance, right? What else do we do? We put a
brain
cap on
map.
you. A brain map. We did a brain map with Max, which we do with all of our clients to really understand what's going on an electrical level, right? And then what happened? We did a lot of fun therapies, fun games.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with those, with the things to help you with your eyes, right? And with your balance, and with being able to feel relaxed, right?
There was one where you have to press random it was on a TV, and there were dots, and you had to touch letters or numbers, and you had to touch them, and there's one certain one that you had to remember.
Did pretty well on the Stroop task.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's one where you have to pick different colors and match different words with colors.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, you did amazing on that one. Even the metronome, the one where you're clapping to a metronome and moving your body, you did amazing on that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you did really well, and all those things help your brain to heal much faster.
You know, head injuries, no matter what the severity, it's important that they be treated and addressed. You know, growing up, you know, I played contact sports. You know, you get hit hard and then you go back on the field. And head injuries, concussions weren't really addressed after that. You go home for a few days and rest up. What I really learned is that if concussions aren't treated, they could have long-lasting effects that, you know, could have be permanent for people. And it was so important that we found Dr. Bagnell, and we went through the therapy, and we continued to address it. And we learned a lot
I
from
think it's
this.
what Pete was saying is that, you know, the injuries are called an invisible injury because a lot of people, you can't see anything on the outside. They seem relatively normal, but people can really be suffering on the inside. And the earlier someone gets an injury, the more problematic it can become. Because obviously it's a developing brain, it's a younger brain, and there's a lot more life to go. So we don't want to have compensation, right? Someone might feel that they're somewhat better, but until their brain is tested, meaning things like brain map or eye tracking and balance systems, until they're evaluated on that level, we really don't know how much the injury affected them. Like a coach we were talking about, who an older gentleman like us, a coach who Pete knows, who said, listen, I had a lot of things where I injured my head, but I'm fine. And we said, but we really don't know how fine we are. And we really don't want to limit any of our kids from being able to be at their fullest capacity. So an injury in a child, a young person, a teenager, a college-age person is really, I would say, in a sense, more critical than someone older, only because they have a lot more life ahead of them. And so if we can help their brain come back to a more healthy, resilient state, right, through brain training and restoration, then they're able to enjoy the fullness of their life going forward. So this is really what motivates us, to give someone their child, their young person back, and them to be healthy, functioning, and just living and enjoying their lives with their families.
Trust the process, it'll work. And just have faith. And you know, we did, and we're very happy because I feel like we got our Max back. I think he's gonna be even better athlete than he was before because of it.